Welcome back to News at Noon. It's me, I'm back, I'm alive. I'm freed from the little editing den where I was told I couldn't leave until I finished editing. But thanks for tuning in today. We got some juicy news for you since the Picture this, you're waiting in line for something. Maybe you're just in a crowded place. Doesn't matter, you're on your phone. When suddenly you received an anonymous airdrop from somebody in the crowd. What's in the airdrop? Who knows? Maybe it's a funny frog. Well, it looks like those days of anonymous shit. Can we say that? Well, it looks like those days of anonymous shitposting are gone because Apple has recently limited airdrop in China, making it so you can only receive anonymous airdrops for 10 minutes at a time. This was done after recent protests where some protesters got a little creative with how they handed out their flyers. There is speculation that this was inspired partly by a protester in Beijing when they hung banners in a public space that criticized the government and called for the removal of the Chinese overlord Xi Jinping. Apple is planning to roll out this quote-unquote feature out to the rest of the world soon, so spread your memes to random people in public as much as you can before then. Mr. Dwayne "The Rock Hard" Johnson, what the Mr. Dwayne "The Rock Hard" Johnson just robbed a 7-Eleven of every last juicy Snickers bar he could get his oversized hands on. Just kidding, he instead bought every last Snickers bar. The famous movie actor recently exercised his chocolate demons when he returned to a 7-Eleven in Hawaii that he would often steal Snickers bars from every day when he was 14. In a video that was posted by the ex-pro wrestler onto social media, he can be seen asking the clerk to ring up every Snickers bar in the store and to give them to any customer that looks like they're gonna steal one. He also tipped the clerk and bought the groceries of everybody else inside the store. Pretty wholesome, until you consider the fact that he may have inadvertently prevented the next Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from ever existing. Maybe he's protecting his legacy. I know I would. You hear that? New potential world-ending virus just dropped. International scientists have reportedly thawed and revived 13 new quote-unquote zombie viruses, which, first of all, don't call them that if you don't want us to immediately freak out. Just saying, they don't even have anything to do with the idea of zombies. They're just prehistoric pathogens that were recently discovered in melting Siberian permafrost samples. Anyways, there's a real concern with the potential from any kind of historic pathogens finding a second life in our world if current climate change conditions continue to worsen. As described in an article that has yet to be peer-reviewed, international scientists are warning that the irreversible thawing of permafrost due to climate change could lead to a new public health threat. So if you don't want to be threatened by another disease, I say we start doing something, starting with that recycling bag you have in the kitchen that you haven't taken out yet. You know who you are. Thinking of taking your old boat out to sea, maybe catching a few salmon out in the wild? Who am I kidding? You don't own a boat, but if you do, me up. Well, if you're planning on sailing the 7 seas, make sure to check your rudders for stowaways, as Spanish Coast Guard in the Canary Islands recently discovered 3 men hitching a ride on an oil tanker coming in from Lagos, Nigeria. The trip is estimated to have taken 11 days to complete, so it's a miracle that these men were able to hold on as long as they did. The Canary Islands are often a popular place to use in immigration, as many African migrants have been attempting to reach Europe in recent time. The men have been rescued and taken care of by the Coast Guards of the Health Service. It's my government device and I'll use TikTok whenever I want, is what I think the employees told the South Dakota governor when she recently banned them from using the popular app on their government-issued device. Kristi Noem, the current South Dakota governor, said, "We will have no part in the intelligence gathering operations of nations who hate us," end quote. Kristi, you obviously don't get it. Jim in HR needs to dance in front of the camera for his followers. This decision wasn't made without reason though, as TikTok has recently found itself under scrutiny for reportedly leaking US user data to China, based on the leaked audio recording of internal TikTok employee meetings. Whatever will they do with Jim's silly little dances? Who knows? NATO has just pledged to give more weapons to Ukraine, as well as fix their ever-growing energy infrastructure problem with increased Russian attacks on critical components for Ukrainian power grid. The people aren't doing too well, with Ukraine having asked for NATO for months on end to improve their air defense systems that would hopefully deter the Russian onslaught of drone strikes. Hopefully NATO's efforts would be worthwhile as Ukraine struggles as the weeks roll by. And you know what I've heard? I've heard you grow big and strong if you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to also have your daily intake of commenting down below. If you can't tell by how tired I am, my baggy eyes, or my sleep deprivation, we've been overworked in the editing studio here, so we're probably gonna go on a 2-week hiatus. Don't miss us too much. We'll be back as soon as we catch up on all of our back end stuff. Thanks again for sticking around, and we'll see you guys next time.